Okay, pumpkins, I know you see this title, and I really feel the need to do a little bit of a story time and give you like a full update on how I've gotten to this point of really identifying with so many characteristics in the demisexual category. As most sexuality labels, all of these have a spectrum. And while I'm like very confidently still a gay man, there's so many characteristics that I very much identify with in the demisexual label. I sit here and want to just go through some of my experiences and what's brought me to this very comforting level of being like, yeah, Jake, you very much identify as demisexual. First, through my history of coming out of the closet, I came out at 19 and immediately thought I was going to start being sexually explorative. I thought I was going to get on the apps. I thought I was going to start hooking up because when I did come out, Grindr was very much available. Scruff was very much available. All of those were out there. And I was very much trained into this world of, yeah, like in the gay space, you kind of just like randomly hook up with people. You know, it's like, actually go meet him for 30 minutes and then like get on home and then watch an episode of Seinfeld, you know? Like I grew up in a world where those very casual sexual encounters were there for me to learn from, especially in the gay space, you know? I definitely lime-wired Queer as Folk and I watched that shit, so I learned some shit. But what was odd was there was such a weird part of me that always said that I was like very hopelessly romantic. And I always wanted more than just those one-off, what felt like empty sexual encounters. I would definitely attempt to have them, trust, because there's still sexual attraction that I have for the physical form and for what people would say like is conventionally attractive. That still draws me, but there are so many aspects that can turn me off immediately if I don't feel a level of connection. And for those of you who may not know much about demisexuality, this is going to be the smallest little tidbit and crash course on what it is, but the definition in a very loose way is needing a strong connection or intellectual intimacy before you want to have sex or in order to have sex. And there are so many encounters throughout my life where that has kind of proven to be such a real stance for me. Going from college, coming out of the closet, going into relationships. Every time I left a relationship, I was like, I think I'm gonna try like just having weird hookup times. Maybe it's gonna be anonymous sex. I'm not sure what it is. I'm gonna give it a shot. And trust me, like there were moments, there were encounters that were successful, that were still hot for me. But my drive did not meet what I was like actually executing ever. Like my sex drive was very much there, but I was at this standstill where I was like, I would get up in front in maybe even like a bedroom with a very attractive person and something would just switch off. And it's because I did not have this intimate connection with them mentally. I didn't have a connection. There wasn't anything about them that like intrigued me. And I came to this place and I told tons of people and it never even clicked along the way. I told tons of people, I sat there and I was like, you can be so fucking hot. I don't care how hot you are. If something's not here behind the eyeballs that intrigues me, brings any level of curiosity, makes me feel like I can trust them or makes me feel safe or makes me feel valued or loved, if not the reverse, if I feel a level of love or value, they could be personable as hell, they could be flirty as hell, but a level of connection, if it's not there, I'm probably not having sex with them. Like literally, I don't care if it's, I don't care if it's like Chris Evans. Do I? No, I do, yeah. If Chris Evans like showed up and we had one conversation and I was like, I wouldn't have sex with him. He's never going to want to have sex with me. Trust that. But just for like scenario's sake, you know? So there were so many aspects that kind of just revalidated this process for me of sitting here and saying, wow, damn, as like demisexuality becomes a broader, maybe well-known term for people, how much do I feel like I want to wear it as a badge? And as I keep going, it turns out more and more. And the reason this became kind of relevant for me now is because I was having a conversation with a guy online, and he very much, in the context of our conversation, said like, well, I actually need you to know I'm actually demisexual. And I was like, I'm sorry? What do you mean you're demisexual? Like, it made me so attracted to him. And I think it made me so attracted to him because I felt like right then and there was a level of connection. You feel me? Like, there was a level of connection right there. It was like, you want to make sure you like what's up here. And guess what? I want the same from you. Because sometimes it can be a two-way street. Sometimes you can be so into somebody and you can love who they are intellectually, but then all they want from you is your body. That even turns me off. I want to be well known and way more loved for anything other than my body. I want people to know who I am. And I want people to love who I am for right here. And then I as I'm saying that out loud, I'm like, this very much goes deep into so many other aspects of my life, but it all also trickles into what I expect out of sex and what I want out of sex. Wow. As I'm analyzing, I'm like thinking about some of the most notable, great times I've ever had in sex. And as that memory just came across, I'm like, this makes so much sense. The reason those moments were so notable in your sex life is because you had such a deep connection with that person. You loved them, and you knew that they loved you. And that's why it was so fucking lit. You know, when I look at it, I know there's so many people in our community that love casual sex, and part of me wishes I could be that. Part of me just wishes that I could make it a transactional thing, because I also think there are pros and cons to that, you know? Do I need to get my heart involved in any single person just in order to be sexually fulfilled? I wish not, but I slick kind of need to, you know? And the more and more I get approached about sex on a very surface level like Instagram, the more and more I'm like, I don't want to like touch anyone. I don't want to look at anyone unless they like really fucking tickle my mental fancy. Demisexuality, babies. I'm obviously spilling my guts in my room again to you guys, just letting my mental thread just like come straight out. And I hope that maybe some of you guys out there maybe wear the same identity as I. Maybe you guys wear the badge of demisexuality as well. If so, I would love to know. I would love to start conversations with it in my comments, or you can DM me. I'm always open to my DMs, but I always want to say thank you guys for listening through as I evolve as a creature and like let this mental evolution of who I am occur during this series. I've been loving it so much. And as always, I'm going to see you on the next episode of Dinner. Mwah.
What we do here is go back.